One of the things about getting older is that I don't have time to attack people or make fun of people for their feelings. And it doesn't really interest me to do that. It doesn't, I guess it's kind of like you're not doing anything with your life versus you are doing something with your life. It makes sense. We all heard by now about Lil Nas X strutting around no clothes on in LA. I think it's pretty sad. And I think moments like this are what make you thankful to just be normal. And we all remember, Amy Winehouse and Kevin Federline. I didn't like the music, and I think Amanda Byron, she got in trouble. A lot of the Disney kids got in trouble. Martin Lawrence running around, I think he's running around acting crazy in traffic or something. He ended up getting arrested. He screaming around trying to kill him or something. I mean, this is what happens. And I think what's that comedian years ago? Richard Pryor running down the side of the road with his hair on fire and stuff. Like it makes me sad because people are very talented in what they do. And as I get older, because I was with old people, as I get older, sometimes I just thank God to have access to my memory, to be in good health and strength, to have people that love me and care about me. And sometimes, you don't talk to people and they call you and, hey, and a friend of mine just got a good job that fit his degree and all that. He's represented as for his nationality, and it's making me feel good. And sometimes these things make you just realize that even though you may not be where everybody else is, have $100,000 in the bank account, you're still treading your path. You're still doing well. I had a friend of mine that I thought was doing a whole lot better than me. Had the wife, the kids, got a house. We had a fiance. Come to find out, this girl was cheating on him, and I think out of the 5, I think 3 of them wasn't even his. You gotta walk your own path, however humbly, rather than walk somebody else's. So, I don't know much about Lil Nas X as far as his music, other than I know you got a Grammy and the whole, what's that thing called? The Old Town Road, whatever. I think it's sad because this video plays into the whole narrative of like homosexuals running around with no clothes on and stuff, or that's what they're fighting for, is running around no clothes on and acting stupid and doing stupid things, getting in trouble. But it also makes me think some taking advantage of him, that he's winding up like Kanye, and that he's gonna be out here talking about I love Hitler and wearing white lives matter shirts and like Candace Owens and Kanye West. I fear that. I've been talking about it, folks, that talking about white faces in high places aren't good enough because of Kanye. Look at Trump's guy Ben Carson. Plenty of black people that hate us and spit on us and piss on us every chance we get. There's got to be some values there. And, it can't just be about accumulation of money. As I said, to me, I think it's sad. And I hope he doesn't. And I'm just, something in me said, do you want to wind up like Mount K. White? Yeah, I'm saying the right way. The guy was on The Wire that played Omar. Mount K. White might be the martial artist, not to be wrong. But it just, I was like, hey, do you want to wind up like that? Did you hit some bad dope and you wind up dead somewhere and they find you? I mean, this is, we're already facing enough trauma that I I can't imagine you have money. And I guess it's kind of that thing of having money and it's just distraction. Yeah. Distraction from the reality of everything else. Whereas for me, it's like buying bullets, guns, vests, things like that. It's like the idea of going and getting drunk or high or something like that. I don't do it, but even if I did, this is the time you really get your mind together and getting ready. We're being victimized now. We live in a country that seeks to marginalize us every chance that they get. And you want to go out here and walk around buck naked down the streets, you can get gunned down by some cops, knowing Trump has set it up where they'll get away with it? No, sir. I don't understand that. That's not kosher. I hope he gets help. And I hope that, somebody gets with him and straightens him out. But it just was very tragic to see that, and then to know that there's people out there that would laugh at that. There's people out there that would take advantage of him. And then I think with that movie, if you ever think about drug use, I always think about that movie I watched, Requiem for a Dream, with Marlon Wayans, I believe in it. People basically they were drug addicts. They would steal from their white boy's grandmother in Long Island. And the pawn shop guy knew his mom was giving pawn. Anyway, she got these drugs to lose weight. All she did was sit in a room and she watched like old infomercials and all that stuff. She's living in that world. And she was dreaming that one day she'd be on TV. She was trying to lose weight. The pills were addictive. Anyway, the end of it is showing you how the drugs accumulate. She wound up in a nursing home. These guys basically trying to force feed her. They didn't care. Their job was make her eat and trying to force feed her. And then the guys wound up getting really addicted to the dope they had. They were trying to move dope. They were from New York. And they wound up in like South Carolina or something. Trying to cold turkey it. And Marlon's, his veins were like blown the fuck out. Like, this stuff was spiderweb. It was blown out. And that right there, anybody that wants to mess with drugs, intravenous, heroin, cocaine, watch that movie. That's fucked up. Yeah, that there damn near made me sick watching it. But then the old lady that nobody was around to tell her that these drugs you're taking they weren't harmless. They were dangerous. Force feeders stick the shit up her nose. Yeah. To them it was like, I guess like me cleaning out this truck or just sweeping out the truck or something. It just didn't mean nothing to them. Here you are, damaging a woman's nose and stuff. It did like me sweeping out the floor or me wiping off the windows or something. It just didn't mean nothing. It was a part of their day. I hope Lil Nas needs help. I hope that, he doesn't want up like they gotta play Omar on the Wire, dead somewhere, because it's almost like I think about Rodney King. He got rich, driving around in limos, driving himself in limos, and dumb shit. I think they found him swimming in the swimming pool, high or something. I think about that guy from Friends, Matthew Perry, that died. Don't really care anything about him. But the thing about people that make all this money, and it's not about bettering themselves or their community or being the best. Because to me, if I made a whole bunch of money, it would simply be I would want to live like people on Star Trek. Meaning that, like, at some point, I'm not trying to get richer. I'm trying to better myself to be the best, whatever I'm trying to do, to be the best human being I can be. that. It's just the idea of me wanting to try to be a millionaire or a billionaire to me is insanity. It's insanity. I understand people who have unique health problems. I'm not talking about that. I understand folks who have debt. I ain't talking about that. I understand folks that have family. That's all. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about at some point when you got a good job, you don't really need no more money. Because at the end of the day, you can't take that money with us. That money should be to make yourself the best you can be. And have a little fun once in a while. You know, and have fun with your friends and family. I mean, I look at it as like this, you know. I believe in God. And the whole videos he's done of him playing like pregnant, Satan's the baby, and he did like a 20 times on the trip. He did a lap dance on Satan's lap, and I know people that say it's entertainment and it's designed to like get people paying attention. To look at things like that and it makes you just feel like this is like a curse, sin, and all this stuff he's done is just sin, and that this is the wages of it. Is that what is it? You gain the whole world, lose your own soul. What should it profit you? You wind up walking up and down the streets in L.A. with tighty whities on, talking to some guy, talking out of your mind about sexual stuff. I mean, I look at Lil Nas X, and I think about homeless people I encountered living in Charlotte, like riding the bus when I was younger, and like all of it. There was a lady I encountered one time left a crack pipe on the bus. You know, they took it off. When he got back to the bus station, she was waiting there for her. You know, I think about that. I think about him, and I hope he gets help.